What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Let's talk about Antonio Gates, number 85, now getting put into the Chargers Hall of Fame. Man, what a career this guy had all around. So let's get into it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go.
Bolt Bros.
And I'll tell you what, I saw a lot of Antonio Gates' career. I was a season ticket holder for the San Diego Chargers for some years through pretty much all the LT years, Breeze, Rivers, transition type years. Man, he was just an absolute stud all around as a tight end. And obviously, he's one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion, and is also obviously now in the Chargers Hall of Fame. He got put in, or at least Dean Spanos basically said he's in the Los Angeles Chargers Hall of Fame. So he's the first for the Los Angeles Chargers to be in the Hall of Fame. But as in my opinion, he is a Chargers Hall of Fame player. So he is not just as a city base, he is a Chargers Hall of Famer. So I'm excited for Gates to be able to get in there. Number 85, the guy was an absolute stud. I mean, just to kind of give you a little bit more idea about him as a player, he didn't actually even start as a football player. He started as a basketball player for, he was actually originally enrolled at Michigan State University. I'll even talk a little bit more about that. And then was transferred to, then chose to pursue playing basketball by transferring over to Eastern Michigan University. And then he basically was recruited by Heath, to Kent State University. And he basically played extremely well. 2 seasons as a power forward. His junior season, 16 points, 8.1 rebounds, 2.7 assists per game. Did extremely well. The whole knock on him, and actually I'll say one thing too, he even got his jersey number 44 retired at Kent State back in February 27th, 2010. For the Golden Flashes, or I should say also Kent State. Really cool to see that. He even was making history and making, Hall of Fame moves and having numbers retired and everything back then. So very cool to be able to see. But after that point, Antonio Gates basically just kind of became more of a tweener kind of player all around. So it was tough for him as basically a power forward, sense of his height at 6'4", give or take 255, to be able to find a way into the NBA and get some opportunities there. So what basically he ended up doing is he, after being told by scouts that he was too much of a tweener, Gates arranged a workout in front of NFL scouts, basically not really playing anything in college football. 19 teams showed up. Basically, he chose to work out for the San Diego Chargers, recognizing his potential. The Chargers immediately signed him to a contract to an undrafted free agent. I want to say at this point, though, I really remember back then, I think there was actually a battle between the Chargers and the Browns for a while there too about getting him signed. And he ended up just going with the Chargers. Obviously, think about what he's got there. I think Marty Schottenheimer was there at the time. And you got Breeze, you got LaDainian Tomlinson. You had a very stacked team. So it was a great choice for him to go that direction and to be able to have more potential to be able to have a solid career as he did. So, obviously Antonio Gates, me being a season ticket holder, one of the first games I could think of that just really jumped off the page was, I think it was 2004 against the Browns, ironically. Snow game, Antonio Gates, very, very low scoring game in a sense. It's tough to be able to have a team that comes from Southern California to go to a very snowy, cold game. And, I think we're at 14, maybe 7-0 at this time. And Antonio Gates gets this pass to the sideline and just takes it for 72 yards to the house. And that's a fond memory that I've had with this guy, 85. And that to me showed this guy is going to be the real deal. And actually, ironically, was his best season in the NFL. I mean, the guy was an absolute stud all around. If you look at some of this was his season where he had that long touchdown, 72-yard touchdown right there, 13 touchdowns, 964 yards. The guy is an absolute menace on the field. He was honestly one of those guys that was just perfect for third down situations, going back to his college days of being a basketball player. He utilized his body just like if he was blocking somebody out to get a rebound. He had great body control, the ability to always find a way to find those soft points in the defenses and just be open. The guy was an absolute stud as a tight end, and obviously has the record for breaking the amount of touchdowns a tight end's ever had in the league. The guy is an absolute stud. 3-time first team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. He was part of the 2000s All Decade team, part of the Chargers 50th anniversary team, and then obviously is now in the Hall of Fame for the Chargers in general. Leads the league and is currently still has the record for 116 touchdowns for a tight end. Best of all time. Receiving yards, 11,841 yards with 955 receptions. The guy knew how to get open. The guy was obviously extremely reliable target. I'll even give a shout out to Antonio Gates. I think he groomed Keenan Allen to be that third down guy too. Teaching him, obviously, as Keenan Allen came into the league, Antonio Gates was still on the Chargers, and he was able to teach Keenan Allen to be that guy for this team, to be on that third down placement and know those soft spots in the defense to be able to be open and be a great route runner and to be able to utilize your body correctly. I mean, the guy was an absolute stud. Undrafted guy on top of that. He just knew what he had in front of him to be able to be with the Chargers. And bottom line, the guy has just balled out his whole career. And it was exciting to be able to see him finally break the record and get up to be the all-time leader for tight end touchdowns and beating Tony Gonzalez's record. I believe that was in 2017 in Los Angeles. And that was in the soccer stadium. I remember that very clearly. But very cool to be able to see Antonio Gates. Congratulations once again. You are now a part of the Chargers Hall of Fame. Next up, Chargers Hall of Fame for the NFL. I think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will be in the Hall of Fame this upcoming year. You could bet on that. One side note here, Antonio Gates does have a son playing football right now, wide receiver for the Spartans, ironically for the Michigan State University right now. So keep an eye on that. That's kind of a cool little tidbit to be able to look at. So either which way, guys, once again, congrats to Antonio Gates, one of my favorite players of all time. I think I even utilized his name for some Wi-Fi passwords too in the past. So, but he was obviously a stud from Breeze to Rivers, most reliable target all around for us. Fantasy football stud, always a really, really good, great player, but undrafted guy. Once again, one of those phenomenal stories of a guy going from basketball to football and just balling out all around. So congrats once again. And, hear you guys' thoughts on this. You guys think Antonio Gates is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? I think so, but I'd love to hear your guys' comments on it. So once again, guys, James from Bolt Bros, let's go.